What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoyed the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button. Hope you had a good Labor Day. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, let's talk about Knight Customs. James Knight joined Matt and I on our Livestream Takeover on Wednesday, and he launched his new website. Same address, just a new site, knightcustoms.com. But previously, Knight Customs was structured in a way where you could buy some of his files or parts, physical parts, printed through Shapeways, or you could go to My Mini Factory and purchase the files and then print them yourself. He decided that it was time for him to build his own platform where you could just go straight there, buy them direct from him, download them, the whole deal, one website to rule them all, so to speak. I think that's something from superhero movies. I'm not really sure which one. Anyway, James launched the new site and it's got a bunch of great features on it. He's revamped a ton of things to make it easier for you. You can buy one of the files off his website, whatever it may be. And when you get that file, it now also has the pre-set up print configuration for you for several popular printers. Just in case you're totally new to 3D printing and you don't really know how you're supposed to get multiple parts on there or figure out the best way to orient those parts. He's kind of tried to take that and just make it as easy as possible so you don't have to do a lot of thinking. But if you want to manipulate them, you can still do that yourself, of course. Along with just launching the site and being able to buy direct from him and making it easier for you to print, though, he also launched some subscription type services. And basically what these are is you pay $5 a month, and instead of just getting $5 a month worth of stuff, you get $10 a month worth of things. And if you want to buy additional things over the regular $10 you would normally get, you get a discount on those parts. And then there's a higher level, which is like $10 a month, and you get $20 worth of things every month, plus a discount on anything you buy that's even steeper over the original. And then I think the most exciting or the most interesting part is that he is now offering a professional or commercial license, it should actually be called. And what that allows you to do is if you at home has a 3D printer and you want to start trying to generate some income from your printer, you can become a commercial licensed printer of Knight Customs parts. You go on there, sign up for that, and it will give you a certain allotment of credits that you can buy files with every month, like the other two versions. But then also you're allowed to sell those printed parts to people. Previously, the licensing agreement that is pretty standard across digital things sold on the internet like this, you could not download that file, print it, and then sell that item. That's not technically allowed. Sometimes people do it and it's not to the actual, rules of the agreement. But now Knight Customs has a whole setup where you can do that. And if you don't have a 3D printer, this feature will also be helpful to you because you're gonna be able to go on his site, find people who have the commercial license, then you can contact them and find somebody hopefully near you that can print the items that you're looking for you. Everything just making it nice and easy to find on his own website, and it looks great as well. So go check out Knight Customs' new site, and while you're there, you'll find some of the parts that he's been teasing for a little while now, including the animated Optic interior for the Vanquish H10 Optic, the Matt and Josh version. I believe there's also some generic versions in case you see enough of our faces. I understand. You can buy those. You can also get the non-animated one in case you don't want all those wild functions. Everything's up for that. And then he also has the new Punisher body panels listed on the site. So for the H10, it's a new hood and sides, just restyles it a little bit. Very cool. I think there's some grill options that go along with that as well. Tons of really cool stuff. James has a huge library of parts, 500 plus different parts across all kinds of different models. So if whatever you have, there's likely going to be something for you. And if it isn't up there yet, it probably will be soon. So keep checking back. Thanks to James for joining us on Livestream last week. It was a great time having him. Looking forward to seeing him at Proline by the Fire as well. Next, from Deluxe Fab, last week, we saw their wild, crazy mini axles that they released. This week, they've got a full vehicle kit based around those little axles. Now, this is again for the mini class, which is like a 1/18th comp type class for WRCCA style or robot style comps. This will have a body on it. It won't just be like what you see here, but it's built around those super competitive little axles with a custom designed chassis and then shocks that are built from their designs just into the appropriate length for this. These cars would run a 1.9 of some sort. Of course, there's a ton of rules that go around with that full class, but if you're into that class or you looking to get into that class, this is a turnkey option, not cheap, as we saw the axles, not cheap on their own. This full, everything you need out of the box option. So you can go check that out. Also, the name of this is Perra Loca, which I didn't know what it meant until I Googled it.
The crazy bitch.
So there's that. Next, WPL. We talked about the C74-1 last week, I believe, or the week before, but this is fully released at this point, and it's 1/10 scale, which I didn't see or know when I saw the initial postings of it. This is an actual 1/10 scale Jimny from WPL. So they do a great job with bodies and things like that. Now 1/10 scale, like I think they mean actual scale. This is a very short wheelbase because these vehicles are very small, as to be expected. So this thing is still like $89 for a 1/10 scale vehicle from WPL. Not bad though. If you're super scale or you want to body swap this onto a mini Capra UTB8, I don't know what you could body swap this onto or under, but I'm sure that there's some options there. I think it feels like the UTB18 would be my first guess, but I'm sure people will come up with some, other interesting options to go along with that. Available for sale now. It's available in one color currently. I believe that there is or are some other colors, but I think that they're Japan only at this point. So we all get the like old Macintosh computer beige. Not exactly sure how you segue from Macintosh computer beige to channel memberships, but that seemed like an easy way to do it. So if you're interested in channel memberships, they're available for the channel. It helps support a little bit more. It's a little bit of extra content for those of you who do choose to support. It's also early access to the videos like the scale news. They go up the night before. And also you get an extended version of the scale news update called After News Delight, which is just a long form, more feelings about each individual news story that we go into. That's kind of fun every week. So if you're interested in that, again, just help support the channel a little bit more. I appreciate all of you who watch. Whether or not you want to join the channel membership, totally understand. But if you're interested in more details, there's a link to it in the description below. This Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, Livestream Takeover. Like every week, Matt and I will be talking about various topics, but this week is different because this week on Livestream Takeover will be the first live spin of the wheel. The wheel is back. Not on a budget build this time, but just on the new series Matt and I are starting with the Vanquish H10 Optic, just called Praise Wheel. So we will be taking optics and our fate will be determined by this spinning wheel, which it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm embracing it. It's going to go my way this time. I'm one with the wheel. So we'll be spinning that live this week for the first time, and then you will see videos start pop up regularly following that. There will be some breaks because we've got Proline by the Fire coming up, and then I believe Matt has another trip as well. So you'll get almost weekly videos for the new Praise Wheel series. There's some wild options on the wheel, including one that will cause Matt and I to have to swap vehicles. Not every option is guaranteed to get hit, but there's a very good chance. Look forward to that. New from Horizon this week, license plate frames and hitch covers. They released 6 new license plate frames, 2 that are Arma branded, 2 that are Axial, and 2 that are Loci. One of the Arma ones says like, just send it. I feel like we're about to get past that slogan, that saying. I feel like we're almost over it. The Axial one says SCX1 underneath. Seems fairly appropriate. And then the Loci one of them is like, my other car is an RC. So, and lastly, there is a Axial hitch cover. 2-inch receiver hitch cover that does have the hinge design. So it flips up so you can insert your actual trailer hitch. So if you're looking for some accessories for your full size and you already have all of the J Concepts titanium license plate bolts and whatever else they made, then here's your next choices. Furitek had some new drops this week, specifically for the Mini LMT. Now, first thing that popped up was their new Mini Titan chassis, which are the TVP side plates for that. Now, just based on the looks and the name, initially I thought this was a titanium chassis, but it's not. It does not say that anywhere. It's got like a rainbow style coating on one of the chassis. It comes in 3 different finishes. But the rainbow coating kind of looks like they're going for that like rainbow finish titanium. But again, it does not say titanium anywhere, which this is probably aluminum, I'm guessing, which would make sense. The price, not bad. Aluminum is going to be half the weight of titanium. Titanium is twice as heavy. The name initially and the finishes tricked me at first until I looked into the details. So make sure that you weren't expecting the same based on those things. However, they do have a titanium cage top that goes on there, and they are offering that. It's called the Stalwart. I don't 100% know what that's in reference to. I could probably Google it. Price isn't terrible for that titanium cage. It is just basically for style, but titanium is cool, so I'll give them that. Next, new from Biddy Designs, we have, I believe, their first licensed body. This is the 𝗙𝗯𝗶𝗄 RS Rally 2 body. It's a 1/10 scale rally body, 190 millimeter body. I don't follow Rally super closely. I've heard the Skoda name, but I'm not ultimately, again, all that familiar with their involvement in Rally. I assume that it's considerable based on their choice to go after that. The body looks fantastic, as we're used to with Biddy Designs. I feel like they just always do such a good job. It's nicely detailed, you know, decal sets that they offer and all that looks pretty good. It also comes with an injection molded rear wing that is realistic to it. Looks pretty thin back there. Be a little worried about breakage maybe, but you know, I don't know. Seeing like the European rally racing with RC, it doesn't look like they're, you know, absolutely hucking these things. So maybe that's the intention of that wing. They're like, no, you're probably going to be reasonable to it. If you don't want to order direct from Biddy Designs, A-Main usually gets these in a somewhat reasonable time frame. So something to keep an eye out for. We can touch base on that once it arrives. FMS just released a 1/18 scale FCX24 Chevrolet K5 Blazer Pro RTR 18th anniversary brushless edition. It's a long, you know how much I love long named products. Underneath of the body options, which are pretty much same as before, except it's got the 18 on the side or 18th on the 24th scale. They have 18th scale cars. Why didn't they use that? Doesn't that seem like that would have made more sense? Whatever. Moving on. Underneath, you do have a 2-speed transmission and a brushless motor set, which it's $199. So getting a fully brushless RTR for $199, not bad. These do have portal axles underneath. The pickup body has got a removable rear cap or topper, whatever they're called where you're at. Seems to always be some sort of talking point around that. Comes with a lipo in there. Again, for $199, seems like a pretty decent deal if like you like the FCX24s or that's the range you typically like to be in. 24 scale, like 18th scale, sizes and things are all over. So depending on what you're using it for, maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. Price is pretty decent though for what you're getting. But that does it for this week's news topics. For this week's question, I want to know, when you're in the situation where you're ready to offload something you have, an RC vehicle, RC parts, whatever it may be, what is your preferred method of doing so? Do you try and sell locally? Do you have a decent local group that you can sell through? Or do you have to go online? Or do you just avoid all of it because it's such a headache? Or if you're on the other side, do you like to buy used items? Maybe you like the savings. You usually can find a good deal. You know how to spot good buy versus a bad buy. Where do you go when you're shopping in those situations? Interested to hear. The used market, used RC thing in general is a world that is not for everybody. Seen a lot of bad decisions made, seen a lot of really good deals happen as well though. I myself am looking at changing up the items that are held in my collection currently, only to make space for new ones to fill their spot. But it always just brings up interesting thoughts of how, what, where, when, all of that. So put yours down in the comments, or if you just have an interesting story about buying or selling something used. Those are always fun. But it was a holiday week, weekend, week, that type of thing. So news is always a little bit slower. It's just how it goes. Every once in a while, that's not so bad. But as always, I appreciate you guys for watching the Scale News Update. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Consider joining the channel membership if you're interested. Information down below. But again, thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.